All right, I'm getting tired, but I'm determined I'm going to get these videos done in one day. So here we go. Let's finish it up. One more to go so I can do some other stuff. Okay, so I'm going to try to like group all these guys up here. So the first thing that I notice is like, wow, I've got like a lot of stuff. There's 5 graphs this time on your test. There's only 4. So the first thing that I wanted to look at is I wanted to look for something that maybe has oh, I guess let's look for an A value of -2. So I'm looking for a curve that opens down. So there's actually this curve, this one, and this one that all work down. So I realize I kind of screwed this up a little bit, but it's all right. We can still figure it out. Well, the only one that goes over and goes down one right here is this guy. So I'm going to call this curve A. Now, I could also have noticed that that's the right curve because if you look at the y-intercept here being 8, it's the only curve that hits the y-axis at 8. For G, I'm looking for one that goes over and down 3, and the only one that does that is right here, 1, 2, 3. So maybe we could put, I'm going to call this one B, or I guess I could call that one G in the same way. So those do that, but notice the y-intercept of 2 again. We got lucky on that one too. So I guess, by process of elimination, there's only one of them left over here. I'll call this one C. This is the only other one that is downhill, but it makes sense because it goes over 1 and it only goes down a half. But I could also see that it's got this super low y-intercept that's totally off the graph, which makes sense. The other ones showed up on the graph. And so the only other 2 left is if you look at this graph, it goes over 1, up 1. So its A value is 1, and this one goes over 1 and goes up 1, 2. So it looks like this one right here is the one that goes over 1, up 1, which is this guy. And I will call this one the one that goes over 1 and up 2. So those all definitely match. And then we're just going to finish up 45 and 46, and I think we're done. I don't think there's any more pages to be had here, and I can finally be done. So remember, A is 1, B is -6, and C is 2. So what I asked you to do is start with x equals the opposite of B over 2A, and I got 3. So my line of symmetry is at x equals 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to put a nice little dotted line on my graph here at x equals 3. And I personally like to label that and make it very clear on my graph that that's what I have. And then what I need to do is I need to go to the original problem and I'm going to plug in a 3 everywhere that I saw an x. 9 take away 18 is -9, and -9 plus 2 is -7. That value is going to be my vertex. So I'm going to go over 3 and I'm going to go down 7. There's my line of symmetry with that value. One thing to remember is if you did it right, these should be in a 2-to-1 ratio. So that's 9. This should be twice as big and the other sign. And then because the number A is 1, because it is, we're going to use the 1, 3, 5 pattern being multiplied by 1. So literally, I'm just going to go up 1, and then I'm going to go up 3, and then I'm going to go up 5. But that's cool because I just found out that I got my right C value because when I plug in 0, I in fact should get the number 2. And so let's do that. Up 1, up 1, 2, 3. Right there and right there. And then if I go over 1, up 5, I'm going to hit the number 2. And we have, again, we don't make a V, we make a nice clean U. Those look like really nice parabolas. Okay. And then my last one, this one goes down. So again, opposite B over 2A. A again was -2, so that's going to be -4. B equals 4. This says take the opposite of that. So -4 over 4 should be 1. And yes, I know C is 3, so I know that the graph should hit at 1, 2, 3 on my y-axis. So let's see what happens. My line of symmetry happened at 1. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug in the number 1 everywhere there was an x. 4 times 1, of course, is 4. 1 squared is 1. And 1 times -2 is -2. 2 to 1 ratio again. -2 and 4 makes 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. So my vertex is at 1, 5 right there. So that's a little interesting. We've got some information. I got my line of symmetry right here. So I know that if this point is on it, that point has to be on it. So that's kind of cool. But let's see what happens when we use our pattern. I'm going to take my 1, 3, 5, and I'm going to multiply by -2. So that tells me to go down 2, and then go down 6, and then go down 10. So if I went down 2, I got 3, which I already did. And then I'm going to go down 6. So 3 take away 6 is -3. So I got over here to -3. That's way down here. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to go down 10, which is at -13, which is off my graph. So I'm not going to bother to do that. But you can see this is a much steeper looking parabola than the other one that we did. And we should always have arrows indicating that it keeps going forever. Hey, we've done all the problems on the review now. So hopefully that was helpful, and we'll see you back in class. Hopefully you are ready for your final.